And we're live, and this is recording now. Let's just wait a few minutes for people to join. I see people already are here quite early. By the way, guys, I can see that the founders we have today, they are pretty excited to be here and eager to join. Earlier in our practice session, they were like, "Can we start already?" Yeah, which is always good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I see today you're remote, right, guys?
Yes. Yeah. We are a remote first company, by the way.
As usual, yeah.
Yeah, I think I see Dumitru all the time around our office as well, right?
Yes, he's working from Mindspace a lot.
Yeah.
Lately, I like the 7th floor more than the 6th.
Than the 6th, right?
Yeah, more quiet.
Yeah.
More
By the
cozy.
way, by the way, now everybody hearing this, now you know also where you can find us and also the Finqware team.
Yeah, we are there since 2 years ago. Mitel, I believe he is from 3 years almost there. The silent guy, you know, the managers from Mindspace said that at some point they will do like a statue to Mitel to showcase the software development guy working in Mindspace.
Yeah, nice. I mean, there's plenty of people, right, with a lot of skills. It's a nice vibe here.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you wanted to say something, Dumitru?
Yeah, the coffee could be better.
Ah.
we start with the complaints.
Yeah.
And the parking.
It's always room for improvement, right? But okay, I think we can begin. I see some people already joined. They will also be able to join a bit later, and of course, everybody will have the recording afterwards, right? So I think it's a good time to start. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining. My name is Mircea. I'm going to be the moderator of this discussion. I'm an investment manager here at SeedBlink, and I worked together with the guys here in the meeting on this deal, and we're happy to bring Finqware to our community as well. Let me give you a few details about how this discussion will work out. So I'll first give the floor to Dumitru and Cosmin for just a very brief personal introduction about themselves. Then we're going to have a pitch, and we're going to dive a lot deeper into Finqware. And after that, we're going to start having a dialogue, a few questions from myself, and then we're also going to take questions from the audience, so from you. So anytime you have any question about Finqware, please address it in the Q&A section here in Zoom, and for sure we'll address it at the end as well. So that's about it. Again, thank you very much for joining. And now, Cosmin, Dumitru, if you can give us a few words about ourselves and about how happy you are to join this this webinar today.
So thank you very much for inviting in this webinar. I hope all the potential investors will get their information from here, but we will be also available at any point to bring any new details later on. My name is Cosmin Cosma. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Finqware. I used to work in banking for several years before. I started in banking, as a matter of fact, as an entrepreneur. When I was 26, I had an ING bank branch, ING office, and then I exited the company successfully in 2007, 2 years later with 3,000 customers. And the office, by the way, is still up and running. If you go in Galați, you'll see one of the branches was settled by me there. Later, I worked in GE Capital as manager in different positions, different managerial roles, then to Garanti Bank and Volksbank. The latest position I had was in distressed assets in risk management in Volksbank. So I cleaned up the Volksbank portfolio before it was sold to Banca Transilvania. I finished also an executive MBA with Asebus, and then I restarted my entrepreneurial passion and did another exit from a reinsurance broker. So I had another exit from a reinsurance broker, which I started up from scratch, and then in 2018, I started Finqware together with my partners. One of them is Mitel here on the stage. We call him Mitel because everybody is telling him Mitel. So Mitel, the floor is yours.
Yeah. So hi everybody. Yeah, computer science, and then I spent around 12 years in consulting, mostly in infrastructure and disaster recovery and things like this for companies like EMC and then Dell, markets including Eastern Europe. And then I moved in 2013 to Dubai to cover mostly Middle East and Africa, working with big customers in general, such as large banks and telecom companies. And then the end of 2017, 2018, I joined the guys at Finqware to develop the backend part, and this is where I restarted my software career, let's say. Yep, shortly.
Very, very interesting stories, and thank you for the brief intros. I think it would be a good time to dive deeper into Finqware then.
Yeah, before we go in there should be said that there is a third founder, which is Danuț Kovalciuc. He is also so when we started this, when we put together this team, it was to cover different expertise areas. So I brought back Mitel from Dubai. He used to be resident in Dubai at that point, and I also brought back Danuț from Malta. He used to be chief operating officer for Feratum Bank in Malta, but he used to be also my colleague at MBA classes, so we knew each other from a lot of time. Danuț Kovalciuc, before going to Malta as an expat for Feratum Bank and overseeing all the operations of Feratum Bank, he used to be the chief operating officer for Libra Bank. And if you remember, in the Romanian marketplace, the first remote opening of an account was done to Libra Bank. And this project was under the watch of Danuț, while he was the chief operating officer. So that I want to present to everybody that we started from starting to cover the different subsets of expertise that we need to have in order to be a powerful fintech company. And yeah, Mircea, I should go right now with the presentation of the company.
Yeah. Feel free, go ahead.
So first of all, I want to mention that it is also kind of a good thing for us because we want to have also investors from Romania, not only from abroad. We aim to have investors from abroad. We have some institutional investors from abroad, but we really believe that from here, from Romania, we can create a company that can I don't know, to be seen as a market leader, at least European, if not global. Finqware started in 2018 with the aim of putting open banking at work. This was the story is a long one. We put together this founding team, and then we started in our journey to understand what is the nicest hotspot for open banking and for our dream. In order to put open banking at work, we started initially with a residential, consumer approach. We wanted to make initially an application that can integrate all the accounts and all the financial life of a person. But then in 2018, almost half a year after we started the project, we got an award in Warsaw from Citibank. And then Citibank called us, and after giving us the biggest award, and they called us to meet in London to their global markets headquarters, and then they told us, guys, we don't care about your consumer offering, but your infrastructure, your technology is quite important for companies. And the value that you can create for companies is their direct impact in P&L. Because, for example, and just an example, the chief financial officer from Vodafone, from UK, from London, he cannot know how much money he has in all the subsidiaries within the group right now. And your technology that you're building will have this opportunity to provide real-time financial position visibility for big companies. And this was it. In 2019, we started from scratch from the beginning of the year, and we understood that there is a revolution coming into this. So somehow Citibank opened our eyes in order to pivot to an area where there is a big value to be built. And it's not a marketing race like in the consumer markets, fintech markets, with the neobanks coming from like mushrooms, but it's a more tech, more enterprise skills that we can put into practice within this new direction. Open banking is already seen as a fluff, a big concept, but the point is you need to have your own niche, and you need to understand where the value can be created from this open banking general concept. And we saw that these acceleration of the treasury digital transformation is a niche where there is a big money. The big banks already see this trend coming, and they are already supporting it and promoting it. This means API connectivity, meaning the data to flow between the customers and the banks through APIs, not through paper, not through emails, not through host-to-host connectivity. This is something that the big banks in the world are already seeing as a big revolution and milestone. If you're looking of the technologies that the businesses are using in order to work with the banks, you can see that right now there is a shift done through emergent cloud systems with API connectivity and data lake opportunities. While the big companies are still having this solution, which is host-to-host on-premise treasury management technology, right now with the API coming, there will be more democratic for mid-market and even mom-and-pop shops to connect to their bank accounts, to different bank accounts, in order to use the information and the data for creating a bigger agility in their business. And this is where we want to play an important role, because we believe that the real workflow optimization will come when the systems will negotiate, transact between each other through data and API connectivity. And we are planning to be a leader into this for the financial operations niche. If you're looking of a company, and I'm looking right now at a mid-market company, not the biggest one, so not the Coca-Cola, not the mom and pop shop, not the coffee shop that you are taking your Origins Cafe coffee from Guatemala, but let's say the regional Nepiro Castle company, which has 9 countries in which they operate in, They have different SPVs and entities within their company. They have a lot of banks working with, and they have also hundreds of banking accounts. And for them, the pain point is high volume and dynamics with these so many players, so many banks in each and every country. They have hundreds of monthly payments. They do a lot of manual work to take from each and every bank to take the statements and to work on the Excel files. The expected solution should be kind of a financial application which might automate data-driven, not through RPA. RPA is mimicking the work of a person in front of a computer, but basically you keep the computer plugged in, you keep the Excel and all the legacy application on the computer installed. When we are speaking about data-driven optimization of business workflows, we are speaking about a new ecosystem in which the systems transact each other, the data. And this is where this is the space where we wanted to start something. But first, we understood that this open banking, it was only a concept when we started. It was only, everybody was speaking about open banking, but nobody was doing open banking. And even now, a lot of people are speaking about open banking, a lot of banks are speaking about open banking, but almost nobody is doing open banking in real life. So we needed to start this open banking exist, and because in Romania, nobody was really doing open banking at that time, we convinced, as a matter of fact, some banks from not only from Romania, from Central and Eastern Europe, to help us. We presented them the opportunity to give them the technology so that they can use this technology in their digital channels. But in the meantime, we would have, the perfect sandbox to develop our deep tech data aggregation hub technology. And this is what we did in the last 2 years. And you might heard that Banca Transilvania launched for the first time open banking in Romania 2 years ago in November 2020. It was with our technology. You might heard that in Croatia, we, as a matter of fact, we connected, the first market we connected was Croatia, not Romania, through a partnership with OTP Group that asked us to connect the Croatian market. You might have heard that in Czech Bank you can pay. If you don't like the ING Bank application, you can see your account from ING in Czech Bank's application, and you can pay for your ING Bank account from Czech Bank application. This is us. So this stage was an R&D stage for us in order to prepare our technology to go for the enterprise use case, which is right now what we are launching these days. Because right now we have another important milestone checked, which was provided to us in May. We have a payment institution license, which can be passported in all EU countries. So we can right now operate in all EU countries after a process of authorization, which took us almost 2 years. So it was from National Bank of Romania. It was provided this payment institution license. Just for you to understand how big barrier is this for new players, just take a look at some figures. For example, in Romania, there are more than 30 banks operating, so more than 30 banking licenses, while in the whole history of National Bank of Romania, our license is the number 12. So it's more difficult to get a payment license somehow than a banking license if you look at these figures. Anyway, we got the license. We have the technology that we built in the last 3 years, and right now we are ready to launch our platform. Our platform it is the first embedded banking platform for companies, which incorporates open banking and real-time availability of data. If you look at a company, you will see that they have different functions. They need different functionalities. And we will start with the first two of them, which is that of the visibility across the banks. And the second, it will be for the reconciliation of the accounts. It's an API connectivity layer that can be plugged in the ERP or other systems. And the company, instead of having a floor of people looking at the statements and then copy pasting things from Excel files to the ERP file, there is an opportunity to do an automation based on open banking data. This platform is just these two modules that you can see here on the screen are only the first two modules of what we will launch from time to time. The next module will be a payments module and then a collection module and so on. As a matter of fact, we can call FinqTreasury as a financial operating system for companies, because this is what we aim to provide. And the good thing is that when we are speaking about big companies, it's kind of not that easy to get to the sales with them, but then it's kind of a stickiness because they tend to keep you as a provider for a long time. We are already seeing these vision of a whole product which will checkbox all the needs of a company in terms of financial operations, and will free up time for the financial professionals from Excel file manipulation to decision making. The first and the company that I can speak about, because we have more than 20 companies that are right now testing our platform since some months ago. They are testing it in order to also to help us in fine-tuning it before the commercial launch. Nepiro Castle is one of our early adopters and evangelists of the platform, because they had a comparison with the other platforms, potentially incumbent platforms, potentially to solve their issues, and ours was the best that fitted to their needs. If you're looking at the market size, as I told you, Romania is just the place where we can R&D and sandbox the product. Right now, it's our moment of spreading the wings. The market, it's a big market, and we are looking here only of companies which are more than 25 million euro yearly revenues and up to $500 million, which is kind of the sweet spot for our offering. By the way, I will speak here. We will very soon make it public. We already established to open our office in Luxembourg and to start creating our business development efforts to be conducted from Luxembourg very soon. If you're looking at the direct competition, we have incumbents, which is old players that are solving somehow parts of the problem, but mainly because they are very, very costly. They are on-premise solutions mostly. They are solving this only for big companies, for companies which can pay 100,000 euro only for this situation of automizing parts of the financial operations. If we are looking at the direct competition, which is the new players in the market, we see two important players at the global stage. One is Trovata, which is a spin-off of JP Morgan, and Cobase, which is a spin-off of ING Group. We are kind of the point is that they are not in Central and Eastern Europe for sure. So here we have like a beachhead market that we can cover very quickly, and we are already present in Romania. We will be in Croatia and Austria and so on. But even at the European level, they are not well established. So we can take territory from their face in order to create our own space. If you look at as an executive, we have three important competitive advantages that right now are very hard to be copied. First of all is that the deep tech platform, which was built in the last 3 years. We have an expert team of guys that worked with these banking APIs, and believe me, in Central and Eastern Europe, we can be kind of the most important R&D lab for open banking. We have the product ready to be launched with customers, with more than 20 corporate customers testing it, and on the age of converting and paying customers. And we have a pan-European license after a process of almost 2 years of getting it. In terms of the growth, we see a big growth for us, even bigger than you can see here. We start to build our momentum, and we aim for a hockey stick. We aim right now to raise 450,000 euro, 450,000 euro. Already 250,000 are already committed. There are still 200,000 on the SeedBlink. It was also a request from my friends to have this opportunity to invest as a persons in Finqware. I believe it's a good opportunity right now. We keep it at a 6.8 million euro pre-money valuation. But we are already speaking for the next round, which will be 3 million very soon, hopefully in this winter, with some institutional funds. Because the next level, the next stages of the company obviously will be with institutional investors that will come abroad. This is the team, the whole team working to build. We call ourselves the inglorious bastards of open banking. I can speak a bit about some advisors that we have. We have Mr. Mihai Tănăsescu, we have Maximilian Schausberger. As institutional investors, we already have Elevator Ventures, which is the venture capital of Raiffeisen Bank International that invested $500,000 in our company, and also Gapminder. In terms of credentials, in order to be an enterprise solution, you need to check points, kind of like ISO certification. We have ISO certificates in order to be seen as a valid and important enterprise provider. We have a seal of excellence from European Commission, and we are loved by both Google and Microsoft because we are a cloud-based solution. These banks here are our friends, somehow, or partners or investors like Raiffeisen. We were accelerated in different acceleration programs. We keep getting awards for our solution in different contests, and pretty much this is what I wanted to tell you about. Stop share now.
Yes. Thanks a lot for the overview. I think it provides a lot of information, and it was very swiftly presented. So thank you for that. I have actually two things in mind that I wanted to ask you. It seems like it's a very interesting story, and you got quite far with everything that you've done so far, right? And you just got your license, and you already have 20 customers in line that are testing the product and are wishing to use it, right? So one of my questions is, how have you managed that, and how do you manage to attract all these customers? How do you manage to convert them? And what's your commercial secret sauce? And before you answer that, I'd like to ask all the audience again. Feel free to pose the questions in the Q&A section so we can address them.
So there are things that we are doing ourselves, but there are things that come to ourselves. For example, the first customer came after they went to their corporate banks and asked for a real-time solution of connectivity. And one of the banks said to them, we don't have it, but there are some guys in Romania. We awarded them at a contest that want to do this for you. And then they become our early adopters, this company from Romania. there is, and not once, several times there were companies coming to us because they are reading in their treasury management or financial niche magazines about open banking and API connectivity, and they are asking themselves who is doing it, and they become interested in getting in touch with us. On the other hand, what we did, we conducted an early adoption program in which we are saying to the customer, to the companies, guys, and I'm telling you, for example, we have in this situation Romanian Airlines, two of the biggest Romanian national airlines. We have some of the very important medical networks. So I cannot say the names, but two of the biggest meal tickets companies, some of the biggest insurance companies present in Romania. So we went to them, we started to went to them and say, okay, guys, we will have the license in May. We can bring you to test the platform. Do you want to do it for free? And initially, their first question is, okay, but still it's our financial data. We cannot share the financial data with whatever small startup from the market. And then the first thing usually is kind of an internal audit for the security, compliance, and the IT from the company. We can stand because we have penetration testing. We are a provider for Banca Transilvania, for Czech, for OTP, for big banks. So they are already testing us. So we are right now, we can stand any compliance or security testing. And then after they get this trust in us, okay, they sign the letter of intent, and then they start to attend. And we have different reactions. There are reactions which are not like, okay, but still it's the beginning. I need to move a lot of things from my company in order to adopt your solution, which are the laggards. Yeah. But on the other hand, there are the early adopters. And there was an insurance company, the operation officer says, okay, it's February, but it's kind of Christmas for me. Because if your solution works, then it will be a good opportunity for optimizing my operations. Or a CFO, a French CFO, when he saw that he can make search in all his treasury management, he said, "Oh, c'est incroyable. C'est fantastique." So we have this kind of reactions from the customer, but we are still early, and we are right now nurturing the early adopters. You know, the courageous guys that want to try and test this new technology, which is still infant. It's an experiment still.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. And you know, given this, you know, openness, right, from clients and from people to get to use the product and test it. My other question would be, what challenges do you see in the market as of now? What are the things that you know, make you think all the time about how to improve? And you know, at the same time, we always can say that challenges are also opportunities to solve, right?
So the challenges are, first of all, the biggest challenge for right now for open banking, it's still the way in which is seen by the banks, this new trend, because the banks in Central and Eastern Europe, for example, they are not quite well known as being early adopters banks. They did their APIs because they were forced to do it. There is a big regulation in terms of them to assure the quality so that these APIs can work. But still, we being pioneers, we still find a lot of defects in the way in which the connectors from the bank, so our source of data, is working. And we are tackling this challenge because this is the biggest challenge. We are tackling this challenge in different ways. One is to have collaborative approaches to all the banks. So we are helping them. We are helping them to test the API so that we can give them a hand to make it work. Another way is using the customers, because the customers, when they field taste, when they taste these new words with the data coming in real time from the banks, in a single platform from 30 banks, then they start to push the banks, and they go back to the banks. BCR, I'm one of your biggest customers. You don't want to mess with me. Please, I have this issue with the API. And then BCR is not discussing with Cosmin Cosma from Finqware, is discussing with one of his biggest customers. And yeah, there was a situation in which one French customer went to the headquarters of the French bank and said the API is not working through Finqware. What we can do? Yeah. So this is, and the third way of tackling this situation is by going is by going to the National Bank of Romania in the end and say, we are a player here, you regulate us, you license us, and I see a question here.
Indeed.
Maybe we can tackle it. Yeah.
There are a few. One of the ones that I think go along the discussion that we already had is about the competition and how they solve or how they try to solve the problem that you're trying to solve as well. And someone here mentions about FintechOS.
I heard about FintechOS. I know FintechOS.
Yeah, and maybe that's
so let's stick with the competition, but FintechOS is not our competition. Let's keep the buttons different. Yeah. So we can speak about FintechOS or the competition. Let's speak about FintechOS. FintechOS. First of all, FintechOS is not a competitor with us. FintechOS is a provider of technology for the banks. We are a provider of technology for the financial operations within companies. So we are working with the companies. Secondly, in terms of FintechOS, FintechOS is helping the banks to be fitted and to work as possible as they can in their fight with the new fintech fintech players. We are helping the CFOs to operate with the new technology and do data-driven optimization. So there are separate things, and I heard, FintechOS, it is written here, they have already customers and paying customers. Yes, indeed. They have already customers, banks, and paying customers. I don't know if they are listed right now on SeedBlink to have a big opportunity to invest. But I believe it's it's high risk, high return that you are investing in. So we are different chapters in different markets. I'm a good friend with Sergio Goods, and by the way, and with Doro. So we are speaking from time to time. We are meeting from time to time, but it's nothing direct competition. And related to our competition. So related to our competition, we believe we have some things that are based on our 3 years of R&D that cannot be easily copied in a short period of time. Because we started since 3 years ago to tackle this direct niche, we built some security technology elements that right now, if you put us head to head, they will keep us ahead. And by the way, in Central Eastern Europe, we don't have competition. So I've told you about. There is no other company going to Nepiro Castle to give them the solution that we are bringing them. So we are the pioneers. We are the first one to touch upon the API connectors of a lot of banks in Central and Eastern Europe. So nobody did it before us in most of the time.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe one question here for Mitel as well, or Dumitru.
Please.
About the solution behind Finqware, and how how quickly can you integrate with a new client, or from a technical point of view, how easy is it for clients to be onboarded and start having everything into one place, basically?
Okay, so we are a software as a service company. Yeah. So basically, the onboarding is quite simple. The access is done through a web interface. We go through a KYC process, which we do offline, right? That's because we are a regulated company in Romania, so we cannot open access to API data and banking data and payment data to any customer, which for us is not difficult, because we are anyway addressing mid-sized to big customers. So it's not like every consumer can or should use this product. So that makes it easy. So that's one way to access the product. Now we are working with one of the biggest customers, testing customers of ours, and they have like bigger security requirements, which will end up probably in deploying the solution on their premise. So they will provide a Microsoft Azure cloud tenant for us. We will deploy the solution there, so they will own their own data and so on and so forth. So that would be the Treasury Enterprise version of the product. So there are two ways. For faster onboarding is the first, slower a bit because it requires additional work. It's the enterprise flavor.
Yeah, yeah. And do you see any challenges in this process with any of your potential users?
Of course, with the enterprise users is a bit challenging, because there is custom work to be done, and each enterprise customer has its own security requirements and so on and so forth. But I believe that will be maybe a smaller percentage in the beginning. I mean, we are happy to work with these large customers, because that means bigger revenue and so on. But I'm expecting that 80 to 90% of the customers to be onboarded on the pure software as a service, which is fast and quite smooth.
Yeah, clear. Thanks a lot. And I see we have here two questions from Corina.
Yeah.
Let's also address those.
What I also want to, just because I believe it's a good moment right now to even show the platform, because it's easy. It's better to see the product. And in the meantime, so I will just have the 1 second. I just exited from it. It is also with security, with two-factor security. And then
be careful with the data you show.
Yes, no, it's a mock-up. There are some accounts which are real accounts, but still for testing purposes. So with some transactions. Okay, so you connect. 1 second. You connect to the platform, and this is the platform. Yeah. So initially, so the standard platform is like this. You are a company with different entities. It might be in different entities, or in different countries. You have different entities. First of all, you get the access to the platform. This is the dashboard. Yeah. Then you can set up your users, so your colleagues that you need to let them have different rights. You can set up even the rights. For example, the payroll account should not be seen by anybody except the human resources and the chief financial officer. While the other accounts can be seen by everybody. You can practically put here, give permissions even for different use cases. Yeah. Then when you want to connect your banks, you just have a plug and play process in which, for example, I want to connect a bank from Romania, let's say ING Bank, yeah, and then it's a corporate connectivity. Then I go, then it says to me that for your peace of mind, your connector will be done through the EU data protection rights, and you will give you'll grant the access for 90 days. And then confirm access, then understood and proceed. This is kind of a wizard. And then what it happens here is that I'm redirected to the bank platform. So Finqware doesn't have any access to the login information of any of the customers. After I finish here the login platform, then the account will be connected and will be seen here. What I have also here is like, I will have all the accounts from all the banks. And one of the things that makes, that effect of c'est incroyable was when somebody they had, I don't know, 10 banks with 20, 30 accounts, and they wanted to find a transaction. They didn't know in which bank and what, when was done that transaction. And you can see here the transaction. It is in Banca Transilvania, and it's a transaction done on the 4th September 2020. Yeah. So you can do, because you'll have all the data lake of your bank statements. And here you can see the whole situation, the cash positioning. You can see the closing balance for yesterday. You can see the snapshot. You can have a weekly report, let's say, because of the internet, I still have this issue. You can filter, by the way, you can filter by companies. I want to filter only how much money I have in a certain company, let's say in Insus. Then these are the bank accounts of Insus. It's a small company. And yeah, this is the, and by the way, here it is a single currency. This is also a data enrichment that we are doing. Yeah. We make it in a single. So yeah, we can showcase. Yeah, it's enough. We can showcase the platform in real life with a lot of customers. Then let's go to the questions back.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I think it's actually much. I think it's probably very helpful for everybody here to actually see it, right? But now going back to the questions, and of course, if you have questions about what you just saw from Cosmin, feel free. So Corina asked, are you planning to create and sell your solution to companies to integrate and use in their infrastructure, or to grow as a stop shop company for solving this problem?
So it is, as a matter of fact, a one-stop shop platform for solving a lot of financial operations optimization workflows. But the point is that you need to integrate. Yeah, you need to integrate with the ERP at some point. You need to integrate with some other applications at some point. So it is a standalone platform. We don't work only as a technology behind some other applications, but it will have integrations not only with banks but also with internal systems like ERPs. For example, you want to do some kind of things like to accept payments. This is another module that we will launch, to accept account-to-account payments. Now, usually right now, if you want to accept payments, you can accept it. If the customer will pay you by bank and goes in the application of the bank, of his bank, or if the customer makes a payment through card. Yeah, what we can create something called FinqLink. So, for example, let's imagine an insurance company sending a reminder to the customer of the insurance policy. Hey, guy, you need to pay your insurance. Here's a link to do it, and that link is not a card processing link. It's a link that it is created by us through payment initiation. And when you do this, you need to get the data from the systems of the bank, of the insurance company, so that you can put the amount, the details of the transactions in the payment order. So this is the integration part. There are still a lot of details, technical details to discuss if you want to.
Yeah, no, but I guess the very simple answer is that you're soon gonna grow
one-stop shop.
Yeah, clear. Good. Corina has another question. She's saying that you can definitely have a strong impact on the banking market, which is sweet. Are you working only with banks or companies from other industries? And what is your strategy to select your customers to impact them and their stakeholders? And probably here, I guess the question is more towards, how do you segment the market and how do you target the specific customers that get the most impact from your product?
I will tell you. First of all, what we know right now is after 2 years of customer discovery with a lot of customers in the market. And what we understood is that we have a bigger impact with the existing version of our product, which is account based on account information, so getting the statements from the bank in real time. In the companies where there is a bigger complexity with a bigger number of transactions, with a bigger number of customers. And we saw, for example, the financial companies, but non-banks are a very good target market for us. And I'm saying like collection companies, insurance companies, non-banking financial institutions, because they have a lot of payments, utility companies, as well. They have a lot of payments from a lot of customers, and they need to reconcile each payment, And for example, if I'm a collection company, I'm calling the guy, you need to pay your debt, Pay your debt, And he says, but I paid that debt. Don't call me anymore. I paid it. And the collection company says, where you paid it? I don't know. My wife paid it, but I paid it, And right now, in order to verify if that guy paid, you need to wait for the end of the day to get the statements from all the 6 banks where you collect the debts, and then to say to the guy, yes, you paid. With FinqTreasury, you can check exactly in that field of search, and you ask for his name, and then you find out that he paid one hour ago. This is kind of the things. So we are looking from the customer point of view, and the customers with big number of transactions, big number of banks, and big number of customers are mainly the segment that we are target first. In terms of working with banks, so first of all, we work with banks in different ways. Banks are the source of data for us. Banks are also partners for us, and we are already discussing right now with banks to be our sales channel. So like the corporate banking sales people from the banks to sell FinqTreasury as a solution to their corporate customers. And this is something that we are right now exploring with 2 banks in parallel.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's pretty much clear. And of course, if you have follow-up questions, just type them there. We have a couple of more questions, 4 I see. So let's go through these as well as we get to.
Yes, let me take it because I see it here. So first of all, can you give us a flavor of the pricing for your product? The pricing, it's still experimental right now, but it's somehow between 1,000 euro per month for smaller operations, up to, it can be more than 3,000 euro per month for a bigger operation. It depends on the scale of the company. But it's definitely not for mom and pop shops. So it's not like 100K or 100 euro or something. You have a pan-European license, yet to me, it still seems you are focused on Romania. Can you please give us more detail? Yes, we are already and I even showed you in the demo of the product, we are already connected with a lot of other banks in some other countries. We are working right now to connect more countries, more banks and more countries, but we are free to operate wherever in Europe. So right now what we need to do is business development, and this investment that you are putting into our company will go partially to open some representative offices, like I told you, in Luxembourg. We are aiming for Poland. We are aiming for Spain, in order to, because we can provide the service in all these countries and the neighboring countries. It's just a matter of spreading the word, putting our product on the shelf in that countries, and starting to do sales. Do you intend on?
Let me get the questions, please. So Paul also asks, do you intend on creating a version oriented towards people, not companies? For instance, I would gladly use something like this to manage my 3-4 bank accounts in one app.
So Paul, first of all, you can use our technology in Neo of Banca Transilvania or in Czech Bank. So you can use Finqware right now as we speak to see your accounts, how much money do you have in your Revolut account. If you don't like anymore the Revolut interface, you can use the Banca Transilvania or the Czech Bank interface. But we are not planning to do ourselves this kind of personal finance management application. It was something that we started from, but right now we are very focused in the enterprise provider category, because here we can be the category setter. Clear.
And then there's another question about competition. And I think we've pretty much covered the competition.
Saltage,
if you
my
have
friends.
anything, if you have anything specific about Saltage.
Yes, Saltage is a provider of technology for banks and fintechs. We don't, we are not focused into that. We are a provider directly for the companies. Saltage, for example, Saltage doesn't have the license to operate in. They are trying right now to go also for National Bank of Romania. So Saltage makes part from a category which is called open banking aggregators, general open banking aggregators, which is a market that we don't want to tackle directly. We have the capability to do it, but it's not too much money into that at this point.
Clear. And then a very interesting question about the KPIs that you're looking into, and how do you measure the impact that you're actually having in the market, and maybe also interesting to hear, how do you measure the impact in your clients, like the users that you have?
So right now we are building our KPI monitoring tools. So we have different KPIs in terms of technology. For example, this is checked. We have observability systems. We can report the availability of our platform and so on. In terms of business, if we are meaning of KPIs for business, right now we are measuring with our early adopter customers how is the DC impact within. What we saw is that in certain companies, we tend to, do even some headcount reduction, because there are companies that are doing a lot of manual work with these Excels from banks, and there are different situations in which from 2.5 EFTs employees, you go to 1.5 or even 1. So this is where we are still measuring, but we are looking at these KPIs in terms of business effectiveness that we are providing.
Clear. And then there's, I think, probably the last question that we're going to address about the sustainability aspect of your business. And if there's anything with regards to sustainability that you've implemented in your workflows.
So first of all, we are we are the generation of companies that we are looking very well to the sustainability issue. First of all, we have a cloud provider aiming to digitalize a lot of manual work, and not only manual work, but also a lot of paperwork within the company. So if you look from this angle, you can say that we are in that trend of sustainability. This is something that directly through digitalization, we can say that we can tackle it. On the other hand, there are not so many situations in which we can do something directly ESG related. Maybe Mittal, you can have some ideas here.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I agree with the fact that any digital transformation initiative is something that can eliminate paperwork. I mean, we're working with a customer right now that is still sending data by fax, right? And yeah. We're trying, and we're transforming that business process into an API-based thing. So I guess we are touching this.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're talking about technology in the banking sector, in the end, it brings equality in wealth throughout the world, right? If we think long term, and if we think about the impact on all the human beings on the planet. But okay, I think we've come to the end of our session.
I want to thank to Corina, to Alexandru, to Paul, to Anna for these questions. I was fast in response because I saw there are a couple of, and I wanted to make it as fast as possible. Thank you very much for your question, because it proves interest.
Yeah, and of course, if you have any other questions later on, I think the founding team for sure will be happy to answer them, through our platform. And of course, we're here to help that with that interaction. So be on the look on Tuesday next week, so 12th of July. The opportunity will be open on SeedBlink in the morning at 10 a.m. So be ready for that. We're happy to see you there. And as a final note, Cosmin, Dumitru, if you have any, final sayings to the audience, or maybe any specific reason you think that they should join and support this bridge round that we're having, feel free. And I think afterwards we can conclude.
So what I can say, we are in a mission, and we are in a mission to lead this treasury management transformation in companies. I believe we have everything that we need in order to succeed, and hopefully we'll have the luck to do it. And the call to action is support us, be part of our story, invest in our company, because you'll hear more about us, and you don't want to regret that you had the chance to do it and you didn't.
Great. Thanks a lot for that. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you everybody for taking the time today. See you next week. See you on Tuesday. And have a great rest of the week and a very nice evening. Thank you everybody. Bye-bye.